Hey, how's it going, everybody? So, today I'm going to be talking about how debt is going to become an asset and how if you save money, you're going to lose and be a loser. I'm just kidding. You're not going to be a loser, but saving money could potentially be a losing position, and how borrowing money, taking on debt, is actually the winning strategy. So for a long time, people have been telling you that borrowing money, using credit cards, having debt is bad. And if you're buying things that are depreciating, things like TVs and cars and all that kind of stuff, if you're buying depreciating assets and you're using debt to buy these things, then yes, you still may be in a losing position doing it that way. But if you're buying assets and you have the choice between buying them with cash or buying them with credit, like you can take a mortgage, either buying with cash or buying with credit, it might be more beneficial for you to buy the asset with loans, with debt, versus buying it all cash. I know people talk about buying things with all cash all of the time as this is a beneficial thing. But it turns out, because of the current economy, because of what's happening right now, and the government printing out money, in order to get rid of the debt that we have, in order for the government to get rid of the debt that we have, they may increase the inflation so that they can inflate their way out of debt. This is a concept that not a lot of people talk about, but I wanted to bring it to you. I wanted to expose you to the idea so that when you start to think about how you're going to invest, you figure out how to play the game the way other people play the game. This way you make more money without how do I do this? You don't have to work so hard to make more money. Things will happen for you automatically. And if they happen for you automatically, then they happen, right? If they happen for you automatically, then they happen. So I'm going to show you why debt is good, and why those who save money or buy all cash will lose. Okay? So here we go. I don't have my thoughts fully written out yet, so I'm making it up as I go along on the fly. So let's play the game, right? Let's play the game. So let's test this. Okay, that seems to be working. All right, cool. So let's talk about what happened. So currently the inflation, let's say inflation is at 2%, maybe 3%, right? So that means if you save money, right? And let's say you get to save at 1%, that means you lose like you're going to be losing 1% in this scenario. You're losing 2% in this scenario. Your money is getting less and less valuable every single year that goes by. So here you're losing because you chose to save. If you save your money, you will lose 1 or 2% every single year. So then if if you choose instead, right? Instead of using your money to buy the asset, this is where debt is good, right? Debt is good. In the future, imagine, in, imagine that in the future, inflation goes up to say 6%, right? Let's say 6%, right? That's pretty high, but it can. If inflation goes up 6%, that means the stuff that you own will go up by 6% as well, right? So now your stuff is becoming more valuable. And if you can get a loan, let's say you got a loan at 4% in this scenario, then essentially you're getting paid 2% to borrow the money to buy the asset that's going up in value, right? So you're getting paid to borrow money. You're getting paid 2% to borrow money to buy an asset that goes up in value. So let's make it more tangible for everybody to understand. So what does this mean? What does this mean? Okay, so let's say you took a loan for 100K today, and then you bought this property. Okay, as we know, the dollar is going down or inflation's occurring, and so next year it's worth 106K, right? Because we're still going off of a 6% inflation. Okay, now not everything's going to inflate by 6%. Not everything's going to move in tangent, right? But let's just play this game. So let's say the property goes up to 106, right? And then 0 times, and then let's say it goes up again, another 6%, right? So it goes up another 6. So now we're at 112, 360, right? So 112, 360 times 1.06. And let's say it goes up again, and then we're at 119,101. And then let's do it again. 126,247, right? So after 5 years, the value of the property is now 126,247, right? But your debt is 100 or even less than that. So let's say your debt went down to say 95 over the years, and your property went up to 126. And let's just round it off, and here you are $30,000 richer. So let's say you had a credit card, right? And then the asset that you own went up in value because of inflation, and you borrowed all of that money anyway. You sell the property for the 126, and now we're collecting closing costs and all that kind of stuff. I know this, right? But this, I just want you guys to understand the concept. So you're going to pay off the existing $95,000 mortgage, right? Whatever's left over, and then you're going to take the $30,000 and you're going to pay off the credit card that you have. So then, because of inflation, you can get rid of your debt. You can pay things off. You can get rich because of debt. The asset is the debt. Like the debt, if you do it this way, the asset is the debt. Like you were able to get the loan at 4%, and because of inflation, you're getting paid 2%. You're getting paid 2% just for having a loan. So you're not saving money to buy an asset. You're borrowing money to buy the asset. The loan you're getting paid on. The asset you're getting paid on. So you're double dipping. It's crazy what is possible if you understand what's going on with the current economy. Now, what does this mean for you? Ultimately, what does this mean for you? Just buy more assets, acquire more assets, right? At the Hoan Zone channel, why we exist, right? Welcome to the Hoan Zone, where we help you multiply the assets you own, right? It's all about acquiring more assets. And so in this case, you got two assets. You got the loan and you got the house. Before, it used to be that the loans, the debt, all of that was a liability, and the house was just the asset. Now both the house and the loan are assets to you. It's a really cool concept that if you can understand that, then you can start figuring out how to get rich from this. But a lot of people don't see the game from like this bigger picture, and so that they don't understand what I mean by how the loan is a good thing and why savers are losers. Savers are losers, right? Savers are losers because if they're saving their money at 1% and the inflation is 6%, then all of a sudden you're losing 5% every single year. Inflation right now is 2 to 3%. It's lower, but it may go up because the government needs to get out of their situation. And one of the ways that they can do it is by inflating their way out of the debt. So let's see. So we have a comment. Richard says, I hate when people knock others for savings. Yes, there's better ways to invest. Yes, inflation will kick their ass. Yes, there's better ways to play the game, blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, respect those with a lot of savings. It does take a lot of discipline. He says it takes discipline and hard work, but at least you're better than a bum at Wawa begging for change or buying Gucci belts with nothing in the bank. Respect all your savers. Don't let anyone tear you down. So Richard's saying that it takes a lot of discipline to save money. And absolutely. And yes, they're going to lose money. They're going to get beat up by inflation, but it is nice to have that safety net. All good, right? But if you want to learn how to play the game and you want to learn how to play the game the way that other people play the game, then this is how you do it. Saving money, right? Saving money. And when I say savers are losers, I'm just literally saying that they're losing money. And when I say losers, that's more of an emotional thing because you think like, oh, you're a loser, you're a jerk. Like, it's not even that, right? Our brains play tricks like that. So people take it another step. I literally mean like, if you make money, you've made money. And if you lost money, you've lost money, which means you're a loser because you've lost. Not in the context of, oh, you're a loser like when you were 5 years old, but your brains play that game. And Robert Kiyosaki does that all the time. He says savers are losers, and it causes that emotional pull at first, right? It causes that emotional pull at first, just like what it did to Richard here, who commented. But if you think beyond it, right? Because that's the insinuation that I'm calling savers losers in the derogatory term. I'm literally saying what happened to their money. They've lost in the sense that their income from the savings is losing against the inflation rate. So, each their own. We got a comment over here. Lamont says, I'm in the zone. Yes, you are, my friend. You are in the zone because we are going to help you multiply the assets that you own. And all of a sudden, Richard says, nah, I'm just messing with you, LOL. All good. All good. Doesn't bother me because I'm in the zone. Money is time, baby. Money is time. So, how do you play this game? How do you play this game? Well, number one, you got to figure out how to acquire more money. And I don't mean save, right? Because save is the slower route. You gotta consider this game. Money is time. If money is time and what you're trying to get more of is time, then how do you get more money faster, right? Money is the money is what pays for your time. It's what gives you your freedom. They call it financial freedom, right? Financial freedom. Why is it called financial freedom? It's because it takes money to pay your bills. And if you're working for your money to pay your bills and your time is given there, then you don't have the time to do what you want, right? So like you see, this is a mountain. It's on purpose, right? Because I go snowboarding all the time. I go mountain biking all the time, right? I'm riding on the mountains all the time. So for me, a mountain is important to me, right? And I like using my time to be on the mountain, and I get money so that I can get my time back. If you can figure out the game to become financially free by owning more assets and by not losing here, there, or the other, right? There's a couple of places where people lose money. They lose money in interest, they lose money in taxes, and they lose money from inflation, right? These are holes in your bucket, right? Your financial bucket where money is coming out, right? And if we can figure out how to plug all those holes, or at least make them smaller, like with tax strategies, we reduce the hole of how much you pay in taxes. If we reduce those, less money's coming out, more money's in the bucket. You can use that money to go pay your bills so that you don't have to work, and so you can spend your time on the mountains, right? So what I was saying in the beginning, though, what's the next steps, right? Now that you know what I was just talking about, how inflation, because of inflation, the asset is the debt, right? Debt is the asset because the inflation rate might be higher than the actual loan amount. So then you buy assets. But how do you buy assets? Well, you got to come up with the money to buy the assets. But I don't mean save. I don't necessarily mean save money, because a lot of you guys can't save fast enough. And this is all about velocity of money. How quickly can you go out there and make more money in the shortest amount of time? And so what do? One of the questions that I ask people all the time is, what's faster, saving $1 million or raising $1 million, right? Save $1 million, raise $1 million. Which one's faster? And a lot of you guys already know the answer, and that's to raise the money, raise $1 million. It's so much faster to raise $1 million. So we can raise $1 million in debt, which, like you've learned, is the asset. If you can raise $1 million to then buy a property that is going to appreciate with inflation, right? All of a sudden, you have this asset that's worth more and more and more at a faster rate than before. You own that thing using money that's not even yours, right? You use other people's money to buy an asset that inflates, and also the rents keep up, right? The rents keep up with inflation. So every single year, rents go up as well. So again, you get more cash flow. Though everything costs more, so does your income. Your income is increasing with the cost of everything. What does not increase, right? What does not increase are wages. Wages a lot of times do not increase with inflation. You might be experiencing a 6% inflationary period, and yet the wages maybe go up by like 2%. So wages don't necessarily keep up, but if you own assets that produce income that keep up with inflation, because it itself is an asset that keeps up with inflation, that is rising with inflation, you're all of a sudden winning, right? So you got to know the game. So use other people's money, buy assets that appreciate. Okay, so let's see. Richard says, what's faster, someone taking their stimulus check and blowing it at the Gucci store at King of Prussia? People blow their stimulus checks very quickly in all kinds of stores, but that's a separate point, right? It doesn't matter what you want. If you want Gucci belts, if you want fast cars, if you want a nice house, if you want whatever it is that you want, like if you're like me and you want to spend more time on the mountains, that's all good. What you want in this life, you get to have, and nobody needs to tell you that what you want is dumb or not important. It's your life, right? So what you want is important to you, and that's good enough. All I'm trying to do is help you own more assets so that you can get your time back by trading your money for it. So if you can trade your money for more time, right? Money is time, right? If you can trade your money for more time, not time is money, money is time. Use money to buy more time. Most people simply use their time, go to work, they're trading their time for money. I want you guys to understand how to trade your money for time so that you can get on the mountain. And the mountain is just a metaphoric thing for whatever it is that you want, whether it's a Gucci belt, a Ferrari, a nice house, whatever, right? The mountain, right, in your life is unimportant to me. All I care about is that you own more assets that make you money so that you can trade your money for more time. So again, the asset here is take the loan because inflation may go up, right? Take the loan because it's low rates, inflation goes up, you buy an asset, the asset goes up, right? The asset goes up, you're getting paid to get the loan, even if your loan's 6%. And if inflation 6%, that's free money, right? That's free money. So if you have $100,000 and you put that into savings and it gets 1% and inflation 6, you're losing 5, right? So that's -5. But if you're buying a property using other people's money and the loan is equal to the inflation, then it's net zero, but yet the property is raising or going up in value. So you're winning, right? And the rents will keep up with that as well. Now, some people say things like, oh, what if they don't pay and this and that, and like all kinds of stuff, right? But what if they do pay? And what if the inflation goes up even more for properties? Have you seen in the last couple of months how crazy real estate has been? Prices have gone through the roof. It's nuts. And I think it's because the really, really smart people, and that's not me, but the really, really smart people, they know that inflation is going to go up, that the government is going to inflate their way out of their bad situation. They did that way back when. So how the government gets out of debt, they inflate their way out of debt. So then you can do the same thing. If the government plans on inflating their way out of debt, then you do what they're going to do, right? Take on more debt and then go buy stuff. Go buy things. And those things will have more value. You sell those things, you pay off yesterday's money with today's cash. All right? So we got another one. Is it crazy how you can buy a house for $20,000 in Philadelphia and do work in it, and then the value is $170? Absolutely. Bienvenido commented, yeah, you can buy a property for $20,000. They're harder to find these days, but you can probably still find them. Do some work in it, and now they're worth $170. Absolutely. Real estate investors have been doing this game all day long, all the time. So yes, it's very true. You can do stuff like that. There are even crazier spreads. I helped somebody recently. He bought a house for $330,000. I helped him get the loan for the acquisition, $330,000. The rehab was like $100,000, and the ARV, the appraised value was $850, right? So it's like, why didn't the seller just do it, right? Why didn't the seller just do the work? The number one reason is because they didn't want to. That's it. It's like, oh my God, why would they not? Why would this and why would that? Like, I don't know. People, like, the way we make money is we arbitrage the difference between what they want to sell it for and what it's worth. And we figure out that difference, and that's what we get paid for. It's not our business to figure out why, like all of the background story, because they were 5 years old and their parents separated and, they got bit by a dog and this and that, and that's why they're selling the property for so cheap. I don't know. Not my business. My business is to figure out how I can buy the property from you for the lowest price possible and then make the most money from it later on. And if I can't make the most money from it later on, I figure out how to make the most money from it based on how it is, right? So our job as real estate investors is to find that little gem, that little value separator, right? From the purchase price to the sale price. That's all we got to do. We just find that little property that has that little wedge of equity. We are equity hunters. We are looking for the equity in all these properties. Rule number one, buy wholesale, right? Rule number one, buy wholesale, buy it for undervalue so that you can sell it at retail, right? Buy wholesale so that you can sell it at retail. Let's see. Bienvenido saying that, here, I can actually even pin it, right? Let me see. Here we go. Buying a house for $35,000, getting $35,000 hard money and none of my money. And the house is selling on the same block for $150 to $180 in North Philly as we speak. Look at that. So he's going to be all in. He's buying it for 35. He's fixing it for 35. He's getting the money from somewhere else, $70,000 all in. And when he's done, the property's going to be worth 150 to 180. Fantastic. Congratulations. And so he's playing the game right. So he's finding sellers who are selling properties. He's finding people who are selling properties at undervalue, and they don't want it. They just don't want it. Maybe they inherited it, whatever, right? But that's the name of the game. You got to find that little gem. But this today, the gem that I wanted to talk about, right, was right here. So here, inflation, if inflation goes up, it goes up to 6%, right? That means stuff that you own will go up to 6%. So if you're able to take a loan out for 4%, you're getting paid 2% to borrow money to buy an asset that is going to go up in value without you doing anything. That is phenomenal. That is phenomenal. Today, it's all about learning how to leverage money. Learn how to leverage money, right? That's an incredible skill. I've run a couple of trainings teaching people how to leverage money and for them to learn about all the different types of money out there. Most people don't even know that there are so many different types out there. So I'm going to be putting together a training very soon about all of the different types of money to leverage and how to leverage them. A lot of people don't know how to leverage it either. Even if they've heard about it, they don't know how to use it. So like Bienvenido talked about hard money. Most people have heard about it. Very little people know how to use it. So I'm going to be creating a course teaching you guys how to use hard money, private money, retirement money, life insurance money, your regular cash, how best to leverage it, all of these different things, right? You got seller finance, subject to, you got lease options. What other kind of money are there? Oh, of course, you got your HELOCs, your line of credit, your business line of credits, right? You got those. You got your business loans. That's a different type of money as well. How to get them, how to get SBA financing, how do you leverage an FHA loan, how do you leverage a 203K loan, and what's the best scenario for each of those things, right? And how do you combine all of those so that you can do more deals? There's fast money and slow money and long-term money and short-term money and unlimited money and limited money. You got to know where all of these types of money fit in what bucket, and if you can figure that out, you can then acquire as many deals that come your way as you see. That's the key, right? Knowing how to take money, whether it's yours or somebody else's, to buy the properties that come your way. It's incredible. It's incredible what you get to do if you know what to do, right? Knowledge increases your ability to create more money. All right. Bienvenido says, go to the corner store. The owners always have money to lend. Hey, they're entrepreneurs. If you bring them a good opportunity, and they'll gladly give you the money. And that's with most people. If you have a good opportunity, a lot of people are willing to lend you money. You just have to know how to present that opportunity as a good one. And if you've been showing professionalism, if you've been showing that you know what you're talking about over the years, if you're branding, your marketing, like who you are, your reputation is of somebody who knows what they're talking about when it comes to finances, then they'll gladly talk to you about the opportunity. Oh, you want to borrow some money? Here's the money, right? Because you've presented them an idea that's worth it to them. So that kind of stuff, learning how that works. And then here's the kicker that I've shown a lot of people that they've never even considered. Sometimes you have to show people how to be your lender. I'll say that again. You have to show people how to be your lender. So if you're having a conversation with somebody, they're going to ask, or they might be interested in being your lender, but they might say, Hoan, I don't have any money. You have to teach them how to find the money. So maybe they have an old 401k at a job that they used to have. They went to a new job. They never rolled it over. You teach them how to roll the money over, right? You teach them how to roll the money over and then lend it to you. And you have to know the rules. You have to know where to roll the money to. You have to know what paperwork is needed to do all of that kind of stuff. But once you learn that, You teach them how to be your lender. You show them where their money is. They might say, Hoan, I'd love to be your lender, but I don't have any money. If you ask them the right questions, like, do you have a 401k from an old job? And they say yes. Well, there you go. You just found money that they weren't using anyway. And they never knew that they can actually use that money to invest in real estate or to lend to people for their business. So you teach them to be a lender. Maybe they have a HELOC. Maybe they don't have a HELOC, but they have a lot of equity and you help them through the HELOC process. They get a HELOC and then they lend the money to you from their HELOC. So there's so many opportunities for you to raise money from so many people. You just need to know the process. You need to know how to ask the people. You need to figure out where the money is so that you can do your deals. So that's why it's super important to learn how to leverage money, because there's a lot of opportunities out in the world. Like Bienvenido, he's commenting, oh, I'm buying this house and I'm buying that house and they're going to be worth this when I'm all done. And look, all of a sudden he increases his net worth by $200,000. He makes, however much money he makes from selling the property or keeping them and refinancing, whatever it is, right? But he gets to make all this money because he understands how to move money. He takes a little money from here, he buys a property. This property goes up in value, and then he pulls money back out. He pays the original people off, and then he keeps the rest. Opportunities. All you got to learn is how to shift this money over to this asset, put the two together, make more money. And that's all people do, right? That's what investors do. They just figure out how to shuffle all the cards around, and then they end up with a couple for themselves after everybody gets paid. It's a beautiful thing. It's a win-win-win all the way around. All the way around. And then the homeowner at the end, right? The homeowner at the end who buys the house for $150 or $180 or whatever, even though Bienvenido bought it for $35,000, he puts $35 into it. He's all in for $70,000. They're buying it for $150, but they don't have to do any work. They didn't have to find the property. They didn't have to manage the contractors. They didn't have to get the materials delivered. They didn't have to do any of the work to get this beautiful house that they are now buying for $150, which they're going to use other people's money anyway. They're going to go to a bank and get a mortgage. They're going to use other people's money. They're going to get a bank they're going to use a bank to get a mortgage, or give a mortgage technically, right? So they're going to, there's going to be a mortgage involved. You're going to get paid off by that mortgage. They're going to have a house that they live in, paying whatever they're paying every single month is probably less than the rent that they were paying wherever they were, because rent and mortgages have flip-flopped, like seesawed. Like rents are now higher than mortgages. It's weird. But since the property values are going up, it's going to seesaw back. And it's this game. It happens every decade or whatever. It's always changing. It's always dynamic. It's all good. Right? So you're providing them a house where the mortgage payment is going to be less than the rent that they're probably going to pay. And so they win. You win because you made all this equity, right? And the seller who had this piece of crap property that they're selling for $35,000, they win because they let the property go. And they didn't know what to do with anyway. Not everybody has construction skills. Not everybody has property management skills. And not everybody, even if they have the skills, want to do it. They much rather just let the property go, get the $35,000 and walk away. Right? If you've gotten value from this video, please share the video while I keep on talking. Click that little button that says share. Boop, and let everybody know to go. Oh, it's this way. It's backwards, right? Go to the Hoan Zone. Go to the Hoan Zone where we help you multiply the assets that you own, okay? The Hoan Zone is where you multiply the assets that you own. And it's all about multiplying the assets. And multiplying the assets doesn't mean to save a whole bunch of money to buy the assets. It means figure out where the money is, show people how they can lend it to you, show people how they can be in business for themselves by being a lender, right? Show people how they don't have to make money from their job, where all their money, like they're not tied to one stream of income. It's important to understand how the money thing works, and it's not because money buys happiness or any of that stuff, right? It's because money buys everything else, right? Money buys everything that has a price tag. So if it has a price tag and you have the money, you can buy the thing, right? What has a price tag? I don't know. Maybe your utilities, maybe your rent and your interest and your car note and all that kind of stuff, and all the food that you eat. That all has a price tag. So having the money allows you to buy it. And where do you get the money from? The assets. And what else can you buy? You can buy your time back, because then you don't have to work, right? If you have the money coming in from a passive stream, like from an asset, like a rental property, if the money's coming in passively, you use that passive income to pay for your expenses. And if you have enough passive income to pay for your expenses, you can retire. You can retire early. So there's that FIRE movement, FIRE, FIRE, right? Financially independent, retire early. And how do you do that? Well, have assets that pay you. And if you have enough assets at a young enough age, I mean, there's no age limit. You don't have to retire at 65. If you had $10,000 a month coming in from rental income, right? If you had $10,000 a month coming in and you're paying all your bills, you don't have to wait till 65. If you were 25 and you had $10,000 a month coming in because you did everything right, you listen to messages like this, you bought assets when you were, say, 18, you started at 18, 7 years later, you're 25 years old, you have all of these properties that are paying you, and you make $10,000 a month passively, then all of a sudden your bills that you have are paid off and you don't have to wait till 65. So now you're 25 years old, and 65 is typically the retirement age. All of a sudden you bought back 40 years of your life. You guys see that? Money is time, right? By having that passive income, right? By having that passive income, money has bought you back time. Money is time, right? And that's a beautiful thing. I love when people tell me about how they've been able to escape their job, how they've been able to retire early, how they've been able to recapture their life. Like, people tell me all the time because I have these messages all the time, and they're like, Hoan, I'm going to tell you because you're the one who understands, because nobody else in my family understands, because everybody else has a job. Everybody else only knows how to make money from trading their time, going to their job, their 9 to 5 all day, every day, right? And nobody understands where I'm coming from, being 25 years old, being 35 years old, having passive income and not having to go to work, and everybody thinks I'm a lazy bum, when really I worked really hard on myself, on my brain, and that afforded me the lifestyle that I have today. Right? And nobody understands that. And because nobody understands that, I can't have a conversation with anybody other than you, Hoan. So I'm telling you because I need to tell somebody. I need to share this with somebody. So thank you, Hoan, for constantly being that voice on social media that tells everybody that they can do it, that they can buy assets, and that they should. Right? And so there's a very small group, very small niche of people who actually do this. And we find comfort talking to each other. So if you'd like to join that little group of people who own assets, then fantastic, welcome aboard. But I will tell you this now. It is scary. It is difficult, not in the sense that it's really hard work. It's difficult because your brain and everything that you've been taught, and your family and your friends and everybody will try to pull you back to where you came from, meaning your 9 to 5 job. When you're trying to go over here and be an entrepreneur, an asset owner, investor, right? You're trying to do all of these other things, and everybody in society and everybody's pulling you back. It's like, why? Why are you guys pulling me back to this thing? You keep complaining you don't even like your job. Why do you want me to join you? Why? Is it misery loves company? Why are you telling me to go back this way? That's the hardest part, believe it or not. Everything else is easy. Easy, right? It's just part of it, right? I think what I do with raising money and having the conversations and buying assets and networking and all that kind of stuff, I find that more enjoyable than what I did when I had my 9 to 5 job. I'm not saying that 9 to 5 jobs are bad, but I just didn't enjoy mine. Okay, if you love yours, rock out. You win. You're happy. Great, right? Great. And for everybody else, we got this. We got the entrepreneur side. We got the business owner side. We got the investor side, right? And that's what I'm trying to teach you guys, right? Hoan Zone, where we help you multiply the assets that you own. Multiply those suckers, right? Create more passive income, more additional streams of income. This way, if you get fired from your job, you still have all of these income streams. And if you have multiple income streams over here and one of these dries up, you still have all these other ones. One tenant doesn't pay rent, that's fine. I got all these other ones that pay rent, right? This one does not sink my ship, right? I have multiple streams of income. I have other streams over here too. So I have passive ones over here. I have earned income streams over here. Combine them, it's just part of my life. It's just my financial bucket. Right now, good tax planning will tell you to separate those income streams. Do one under an S corp, do one under an LLC. LLCs don't have to pay the FICA tax. Earned income should have a W-2 employee so that you can pay them a wage, so that part's only taxed the FICA tax and the other part's not. That's getting deeper. See, I do know what I'm talking about. I know I talk high level, but I want you guys to know that there are a bunch of things that you should learn when you want to join the entrepreneur side, when you want to join the, I make money on my own term side, right? Like the Hoan Zone, showing you how to create business from your phone, right? Like, if you want to join that side, there's a lot to learn, but it's actually kind of fun once you start learning it, right? It's fun once you start learning it. So, this is a beautiful thing. Join the Hoan Zone, where you build a business, but you're not alone. That too, right? That's good. That's good. There's a lot of these catchy things. There's a lot of these catchy things, but you guys get to create these businesses. You guys get to create passive income, and if you learn how to use debt, you get to create, or you get to buy more assets. You get to acquire more properties, more assets, more businesses, create more passive income, so that you can escape faster, so that you don't have to be pigeonholed into that job that you don't actually like. But this message, again, was just for those who wanted to learn more about what's going on in the world, how inflation is going to go up because of all the printing that's been occurring. All that printing happens. Well, how do you take advantage of it? Well, look, research, understand, what did the government do in the past? What's happening in the world? And if you play the game right, you get ahead, and you get ahead with less work, with less effort. You don't have to work hard. If you're going to work that hard, I want you to work that hard on yourself. You are your best investment. I want you to put all that energy and time into your brain. Like, I want you to develop your brain, right? Get smarter that way. And then this way, you can then acquire the assets, and you don't have to work so hard, because the assets and your money are working hard for you. That's what you want, because you want to be on a mountain like me, right? And this mountain is just a metaphor for that freedom that you're looking for, right? For me, being on the mountain, snowboarding, mountain bike riding, that's all me. If what you like to do is go shopping, fantastic. That's no better or worse than what I want to do. It's just different. And I want you to have what you want. You just have to figure out the plan on how to get what you want. That's it. Just figure out the plan, whatever you want. Like the metaphoric mountain. What is your mountain? What is your mountain? If you can figure that out, fantastic. Let's get to work. So that is the message, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you found value, share this, right? Share this. If you want to get a free training, I got a free training for you. Go to Hoan Zone, hoanzone.com. Go to hoanzone.com, enter your email, and right there you will get a free training. Watch the training. It's right there. It'll teach you a lot. It'll teach you a lot more. You'll be surprised how much information you will get from that free training. It is crazy. It's because what you see there is actually a paid training that I recorded, and then I posted for you guys. So it is a paid training that you guys get to access for free simply by signing up. Just sign up and you'll get that free training. All right. So hoanzone.com, right there, hoanzone.com. Sign up for the free training. Get that. Fantastic. Multiply the assets you own. Welcome to the Hoan Zone. All right, guys. See you later.